Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So a couple years ago, I filmed a video where I went through every single popular brand at Sephora and I let you guys know what my favorite product was, like what my #1 favorite product was from each of those brands. It's been a long time since that video has been posted, so I thought it was about time to do an updated version of that video. And because there's so many products to talk about, I'm actually going to be splitting this video into 2 parts. And because I'm doing an alphabetical order, part 1, so today's video is going to be from A to M, and then part 2 is going to be from N to Z. So part 2 will be up in the next couple of days if you are watching this video more live to when I actually uploaded it. But if you're watching it in the future, I will link part 2 in the description box as soon as it goes live so you can check it out. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments. If you want to kind of play along and give me your favorite product for each of the brands, that would be really awesome. You can leave your responses in the comment section. I think people would really enjoy going through those. Or you can give me your thoughts on any of the products that I'm going to be talking about today, and hit the thumbs up button if you are excited about this video and excited for part 2. So let's get right into it. So like I said, we are going to be going in alphabetical order. So we are starting off first with Amika. Amika is probably one of my favorite hair care brands. There are so many products and actually tools from Amika that I absolutely love and use in my daily routine. So it was pretty hard to choose what my favorite product was from them, like my number one favorite. But then I thought about it for half a second longer. I was like, who am I kidding? Of course my favorite products from Amika are their curl products. This is the Curl Corpse Defining Cream and Curl Corpse Enhancing Gel. I have naturally very curly hair, and I have tried a million different types of curl products, and there's a bunch that I really enjoy that work well for my hair, but these guys work the best for my hair. They really do. When I use these guys together, they really do make my curls look incredible. They make them look incredibly defined, not crunchy, shiny. They allow my curls to last past just one day without getting frizzy, and just overall, my curls just love this stuff. I actually have a full routine on my channel using this stuff, so if you want to see a full demo and this actually in use, I will link that video down below. But if you have curly hair, I highly recommend checking out these products because they are truly game changers. Next in the A category, we have Armani, and this was another pretty easy choice for me. The Luminous Silk Foundation has been a favorite of mine from the brand for years and years and years. I don't really use this foundation as much as I used to, but whenever I do pull it out of my collection, I am always really pleasantly surprised by it, and it reminds me of how good this foundation actually is. I do have more of a drier skin type, in case you're not familiar with my channel, and this foundation just works so well with my skin type. It gives a beautiful medium to full coverage. It's slightly glowy. It sits really naturally on the skin, and I love this, especially for events, because it photographs really well, and it never really looks too heavy. So it's really just that perfect balanced foundation for my skin type. It's one that I could confidently go back to time and time again and always know what I'm going to get from it. And this is kind of reminding me to take it out a little bit more. Now moving into B, we have Bare Minerals. So when I was trying to think of each product for every single brand, I was really focusing in on not only my favorites, but also the products that I feel are most unique to the brand. And the Bare Minerals bronzers, I feel, are pretty unique to the brand. Now, it's not to say that like a blush like this is super unique, because there's definitely other blushes out there, but it was really one of the first blushes that specifically marketed itself as both a blush and a bronzer. So it's a blush that's supposed to give you a sun-kissed look and also a little bit of a glow. This product really just fit into my routine so seamlessly, because that is the exact effect that I like to get when I do apply my blushes. So they come in 3 different colors. This one is Kiss of Pink, which I feel like is probably the easiest to wear of the 3. The other 2 are really beautiful, but they are slightly more intense, and this is a really nice soft pink color, but it has some beautiful warmth to it and a really nice, very subtle glow without there being any shimmer as well. So just overall, the formula is really like spot on. Then we have Beauty Blender. A couple weeks ago, I probably would have said that the Beauty Blender sponge would be the best product from Beauty Blender, but that has changed because I recently tried the Beauty Blender Bounce Skin Tint, and this really quickly became one of my favorite foundations. Do not let the word skin tint in this foundation fool you. This is not a tint whatsoever. This is a full-on medium to full coverage foundation. But what makes this more of like a skin tint, I guess, is more in the texture than anything else. It's a very liquidy and serum-like foundation, so it's super lightweight. And so that coverage combined with that texture is the perfect combination, because it gives you flawless, full coverage, but without any heaviness and without any cakiness. I am not really like a full coverage type of person. I typically go for skin tint products, but a product like this I could totally get behind because it does not feel heavy, and that's typically what I don't like from more full coverage foundations. So it gives me like best of both worlds. Benefit. Benefit has a lot of cult favorite holy grail products for me, but I think my number one product from Benefit has got to be the Precisely My Brow Pencil. The brow products from Benefit, I feel like, are some of the best brow products on the market. Their brow shades are some of the best. They really do get all of their shades very much on point. After dyeing my hair auburn, I've been using the shade 2.75, which is their auburn shade, and it's literally like the most perfect auburn shade. And before that, I was using their more neutrally brown shade. I think it was shade number 4, and that was like one of my favorite brow shades. Shade is really half the battle when it comes to a brow product, but their formula is also really awesome as well. It is a teeny tiny little micro pencil, so it's super easy to create small hair-like strokes with it, and you can be very precise with it. A lot of brow pencils can sometimes be too creamy or too dry. When it's too dry, it's kind of like it doesn't even apply any color at all. When it's too creamy, it wipes off really quickly and it doesn't last very long. This is the perfect balance, the perfect in between. It's kind of like waxy, so it's going to stick onto your skin, but it's also not too dry where no pigment comes off when you try to apply it. So it really is just like the perfect brow pencil, and it also comes with a spoolie on the other end, which is always very convenient and necessary. Next, we have our first skincare brand in this roundup. We have Biossance. So for Biossance, their SPF is by far probably one of my favorite SPFs that I have in my collection. So this is the Squalane and Zinc Sheer Mineral SPF 30. I'm so picky when it comes to facial SPFs. If I can feel it, if it's sticky, even in the slightest, I cannot wear it. But this guy is really the exact opposite of that. It's super lightweight. Even though this is a mineral sunscreen, it does not have any type of white cast. It blends into the skin super easily. It sits beautifully underneath makeup. It doesn't like disrupt my makeup or pill or do anything crazy. It also does not break me out. I can wear this every single day and it's not going to make my skin absolutely freak out, which is another huge plus. And I also love the fact that it's super hydrating because my dry skin can use as much hydration as it can get from all areas of my skincare routine. Next, we have Bobbi Brown, and my number one product is definitely the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation with SPF 15. I feel like I kind of always say the same thing when it comes to foundations that I like, but that's just because a lot of these foundations have very similar qualities, which is why I like them as much as I do. This is another product though that I've been using for years, and it's not really one that I have in like my current rotation, but again, it's like one of those that if I go back to it, I'm never disappointed. It's a solid medium coverage foundation. It has a super natural finish, and this is one of my favorite long wearing foundations. It doesn't get super shiny, it doesn't settle anywhere, and it just is a very flattering, well wearing foundation. I have countless videos of me wearing this, so I'll try to link one where I am down below so you can actually see how it applies and how it looks. But I feel like this is quite an underrated product, and I think it's definitely one of the best from the brand. Briogeo. This is one product that I actually don't have here with me because I just recently finished the entire tub. So that in and of itself definitely tells you how much I enjoy it. And it is, of course, the Don't Despair Repair hair mask. It's actually a product that I don't even really use as a traditional hair mask. It's a product that I typically like to use as my conditioner because while it's super nourishing and super hydrating, it's also not so heavy where I can't use it every time I wash my hair, and my hair just really soaks it up and absolutely loves it. I just find it gives like a really nice boost to my hair. It makes my hair look extra shiny, extra soft. It makes it a little bit more manageable, easier to like blow dry when I am blow drying it. And it's just been a part of my hair care routine for such a long time because it just works. Well, now moving on to another hair care brand, Bumble and Bumble. The Invisible Oil Heat UV Protective Primer is definitely my favorite product from the brand. This little bottle does a lot of things. It's a great all-in-one product. I put this in my hair when it's damp before I go in to blow dry it, and this is meant to soften, detangle, defrizz. It also protects against breakage, heat styling, and UV damage, and it really does all of that. I feel like the best way to know if a hair product really works is to see what your hair is like when you don't use it. And when I don't use this product, I totally can notice a difference. It really does make my hair so much softer and so much more manageable. And especially when I blow dry it, it just makes the whole process so much better. Like, it makes my hair just look so much smoother. And I love that it does the work of a leave-in conditioner, but it is also heat protector, so I don't need to put more than one product into my hair so it doesn't weigh my hair down. If you have really dry hair, this is definitely a really great one to try. Now moving on to Buxom, this was another no-brainer. The gloss in Celeste is by far my favorite product from the brand. That's actually what I'm wearing on my lips right now. On my lips, actually, currently, I'm just wearing a lip liner, the Nabla Close-Up Lip Shaper in the shade Nude Number 5 with Celeste on top. This is one of my favorite, more like clear lip glosses. And the reason why I'm putting clear in quotations is because it's not 100% clear. Like, there is a little bit of like a maybe soft pink tint to it, but barely. This gloss is basically just pure sparkle. When it comes to glitter lip glosses, they can be very tricky because some of them are just really uncomfy. I actually have a glitter lip gloss from Charlotte Tilbury that reminded me of this when I saw it, and I was like, ooh, maybe this is going to be like Celeste 2.0, and I absolutely hated it because it was so gritty on my lips and super uncomfortable. This is not gritty despite the amount of shimmer that's in here, and because of the shimmer in this gloss, it makes your lips look amazing. I mean, it gives the most insane shine in combination with the shimmer. It gives such an amazing reflection to the lips, which just makes them look more plump, bigger, really juicy. Who doesn't want all of that? And I especially love layering this on top of just lip liners. You could totally put this on top of a lipstick too, but I just feel like it shines really nicely on its own with a lip liner. It's like the perfect combo, and it's one of my go-tos. Moving back into skincare, we have Caudalie, and this one was difficult because there's a lot of products that I really enjoy from Caudalie, but I think the one that stands out to me the most is definitely the Detox Mask. This has actually been around for a really long time, but I think it was maybe like last year they repackaged it, and so it looked like it was a brand new product, but it wasn't, and a lot of people went crazy for this stuff, and it kind of went a little bit viral. And for a good reason. It's a really good detox mask. I am very picky when it comes to detox masks because my skin is so dry. A lot of them tend to dry out my skin even more. Any type of clay mask is just drying. It's naturally going to be a bit more of like a drying experience, but because I wear so much makeup, my skin often needs a little bit of a detox, and so I do like to do these every once in a while, not too often, and this is one of my favorites that I feel like is really effective and very purifying, but it doesn't overly dry out my skin. It is still a little bit drying. Don't get me wrong, I still need to give my skin a lot of moisture when I'm done with it, but it's not going to like make my skin feel like the Sahara Desert even after I put my moisturizer on, which is what a lot of these masks can sometimes do. And more importantly, I just find that this is a very effective mask. I feel like it really does pull things out of my skin, and it makes my skin feel really nice and fresh after using it. All right, next up we have Clarins. I feel like Clarins is a very underrated brand, and this lip oil I feel is one of like the best lip oils on the market. I love it so much. They are called the Lip Comfort Oils. These I find are actually better than the Dior lip oils. I love the Dior lip oils, but I feel like these give the same type of like glossy, gorgeous effect to the lips, but they're more hydrating than the Dior ones. This particular shade is called Pattaya. It smells amazing. It's very fruity, and it has like the slightest hint of tint to it. So it's going to give a little bit of a wash of color to the lips, but nothing too crazy. And I love this just as like my everyday lip color just to throw on. Sometimes I'll put this on just on its own, and sometimes if I want to get a little extra fancy, I'll put on a lip liner and then throw this on, and it looks like I have like this really intense gloss on my lips, but really it's just like a lip oil that's actually moisturizing, which is really nice. Clinique is another brand where there's so many products that I love, and this one was actually really hard to choose, but I think my #1 favorite product from Clinique has got to be the Even Better All Over Concealer and Eraser. This is actually what I'm wearing underneath my eyes today, and this is one of my favorite soft matte concealers. It's really hard to find a soft matte concealer that is not going to be too drying, but it's still going to give you that really like flawless look, because what's nice about soft matte concealers as opposed to more like dewy and hydrating ones is it gives you that like look to your under eyes. I hope that sound effect really communicated what I was trying to communicate there. In words, it kind of gives more of like a smoother, more flawless effect to the under eyes, whereas more like dewy and hydrating concealers just give more of like a skincare-like effect, something a little more fresh. A lot of these more matte concealers are just not ideal if you have more of a drier skin type, or if you have dry under eyes, or if you have a lot of fine lines underneath your eyes, because they will settle, they will look heavy and crepey, and all the things that I just do not want out of my concealer. But the texture of this is very thin and lightweight, so it's not going to sit heavily on the skin at all. And despite it being a really thin texture, it does give you really, really nice coverage. I would say it's like a solid medium to full coverage. And it's one of my favorite concealers, especially to wear for more like full glam looks. Okay, next up we have Charlotte Tilbury, and I know I keep repeating myself and kind of saying the same thing, but this one was really hard to choose because there are a lot of products from Charlotte Tilbury that I absolutely love, that I feel like are holy grail status for me. But I think one of the more special products from Charlotte Tilbury has got to be her highlight wands, and I have a couple of them here in 3 different shades: Spotlight, Pinkasm, and Pillow Talk. I'll swatch them for you guys so you can see what they look like. I am admittedly not a huge highlighter person. Like, I could give or take a highlighter. And it's not to say that I don't love a good glow, because I definitely do, but it's just not something that I'm like obsessed with. These guys though, I'm really obsessed with because they give me such an amazing glow that I feel really like takes my look to the next level. When it comes to highlighters, I also prefer things that are more like natural looking, that don't give any shimmer or like too much of an obvious effect to the cheekbones. I like it to look like I'm actually naturally glowing. These guys will make it look like you're naturally glowing, but with a boost, with a little bit more intensity to it. I mean, you can see just swatched on my hand over here how intense they are, but when they are blended out on the cheek, they just give you the most beautiful, 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 intense, perfectly wearable glow. I also love the different shades that these come in. They come in more like traditional highlighter shades, but they also have their blush shades as well. So if you want a highlighted blush look, these are stunning. Speaking of glow, my favorite product from Danessa Myricks has got to be the Yummy Skin Glow Serum. This is a very interesting, very different type of glow product, which is why I wanted to mention it. Again, I do feel like this is more of a unique product to the brand. So this is like a highlighter and a face serum kind of had a baby. So the product really does look and feel like a traditional skincare like serum. And so you apply something like this all over the face, and it's going to just give your entire face a really stunning, very soft glow. A lot of these like all over face glowy products make me a little bit nervous because sometimes they'll be like way too intense and they'll just make your face look sparkly everywhere. And I love finding products that give me just like that natural skincare like glow, and that's exactly what this does. But it's a skincare like glow that will actually last throughout the day, because when you apply your skincare and you have that nice glow going on, it ends up like sinking into your skin, and that glow tends to kind of fade a little bit throughout the day, and you don't have that beautiful sheen anymore. This product is like a skincare like glow manufactured. So it will stay on your face and you will look glowy and dewy and beautiful throughout the entire day. And I just love the texture of this too, because it does feel like a serum. It's super, super lightweight, so it doesn't add any type of heaviness to your makeup. And it's just a really easy product to wear, but it gives a really beautiful effect. Now moving into Dermalogica. My favorite product from Dermalogica is 100% the Daily Microfoliant. This is probably one of my favorite more physical exfoliators. And again, I'm doing these guys because some people get a little bit scared when you say physical exfoliators, and this really is not like your typical physical exfoliator. I personally do not use physical exfoliators because they can actually damage your skin. They can be way too abrasive and just not great for your skin. But sometimes you do want a little bit of that physical scrub, and this is the perfect alternative. So this is basically a rice-based powder. So I'll dump out a little bit so you can see. And so it is very, very, very fine. It kind of feels like cornmeal. It's the best way to describe it. Then you take a little bit of water and you mix it in with the powder, and it kind of becomes this like creamy paste-like situation. And then you use that to exfoliate the face, and it's very, very, very gentle. Because it is a rice-based powder and it's super fine, it's not going to damage your skin. It's going to sensitize your skin, and of course it's also effective. It does make my skin just feel really nice and smooth after using it, and I just love that I don't have to worry about damaging my skin while still getting in that nice physical exfoliation with this product. It's wonderful. Next up we have Dior, another brand that I had to have a good think about because there's a lot of products from Dior that I really love, but the Dior Forever Skin Concealer is definitely one of my absolute favorites. So this is a full coverage concealer that's very creamy. It's very different compared to like the Clinique concealer that I showed you. Texture is like two opposite ends of the spectrum. It's almost like a moussey, creamier texture. And the way that this sits on the skin really gives the most beautiful, flawless effect. I find that because of the texture, it kind of envelops the under eyes, and it like sits right above all of my little fine lines, and it just gives me like the most flawless look. And I just find it looks so flattering while still giving me that really flawless, full coverage effect. I also really love to use a specific concealer on my no foundation days, but when I still want some coverage, I'll put this underneath my eyes and then on a couple key areas of my face. And because it's such a high coverage concealer and the texture is just like so creamy and great, it almost makes it look like I'm wearing foundation when I'm not. Next, we have Estee Lauder, and of course I had to choose the Double Wear Stay in Place makeup. This is like a cult classic. This is a very, very, very full coverage product. You can blank out your face very easily with this. And it also has more of like a soft matte natural finish, so it's not super glowy. But what I really like about this is that I'm able to use like the smallest amount of product and I'm able to get a flawless look with it. And what makes this product shine and what's so good about it really is the longevity. It lasts really well. It's called the Stay in Place makeup because it really does stay in place. So if you have like an 18-hour day where you need your makeup to look flawless, this foundation is going to stay on your face. I don't have oily skin, but I've heard for people who do have oily skin who absolutely love this for that reason. If you find it difficult to find foundations that will not like slip off of your face halfway throughout the day, definitely try out this guy. It's really, really awesome. And even though this is very full coverage, I do find that I am able to kind of tone it down just depending on how I apply it. If I apply a very small amount with the damp sponge, I'm able to make it look a little bit more natural looking. I'm kind of rethinking my product choice really, really quickly before I show it to you because Fenty is another brand that really knocks it out of the park with like 90% of their products. But I think the product for me that really knocks it out of the park and really just like shines the most for me is the gloss, the Fenty Gloss Bomb. There's a reason why there's such a cult following behind the original Fenty Gloss Bomb. I'm gonna take off my Celeste gloss so you can see what it looks like. It gives the perfect color to the lips, like the softest, rosiest little tint, just so flattering on what feels like everybody. It gives insane gloss and sheen. Speaks for itself. It's not sticky, it feels very gel-like and lightweight. And it smells incredible. Since the release of this, they've come out with so many new shades of it, and every single shade that they come out with, I'm like, give it to me because this one is just so good. But really, nothing compares to the original. I feel like the original is just, it's perfect in every which way. If you had to get one product from Fenty, I would say the original Gloss Bomb is it. Now moving on to First Aid Beauty, the KP Bump Eraser Body Scrub with 10% AHA. If you have KP, you need this product in your life. It is literally life-changing. If you don't know what KP is, it's keratosis pilaris, and it's basically those little bumps that can appear on the arm. I have it, I've had it for my entire life, and it's one of those things that doesn't really ever go away, and you just basically have to manage it with different types of products. And one of the best ways to manage it is with an AHA scrub because you're going to get that chemical exfoliation and the physical exfoliation. And this is definitely one of my favorite scrubs for getting rid of my KP. It really helps in reducing my KP significantly. Like in one use, I notice a difference. It's crazy. Next we have Gisou, and even though Gisou is more of like a hair care brand, I honestly gotta say that their honey infused lip oil is probably my favorite. There's not much to say about this because it's simply just a lip oil, so it's just really nice and hydrating. I really like the texture of it. It just feels really good on the lips, and it definitely gets the job done in making the lips feel more hydrated. I use this on its own. I even will layer it on top of like lipsticks or lip liners for more of like a complete lip look, and it works great as that too because it gives some really nice shine to the lips. But I mainly like this because it's just really nice and hydrating, and the packaging is probably one of my favorite lip product packagings out there. I just love the little squiggle. It's so cute. Next up we have Hourglass, and I think this has probably been like my favorite product from Hourglass since they released it, and it is the Scattered Light Eyeshadow. I've described it this way for many years, and I'm gonna describe it this way again. This eyeshadow is like the mature version of a glittery metallic eyeshadow. So these are very multi-dimensional glittery eyeshadows. A lot of glittery eyeshadows can be a little bit more on like the chunkier side and they can look really intense and obvious on the eyes, and sometimes that's what you want. But sometimes you want a glitter that just gives you that beautiful fine sparkle. This is a glitter that you can wear to the grocery store, and I almost feel like the camera doesn't even pick up the beautifulness that is this eyeshadow. This particular shade is Foil, and it's a really pretty coppery shade. And especially if you have more mature eyelids and you kind of shy away from glitter because you don't like the way it sits on the eyes, because it's not a chunky glitter, I find it sits in a very flattering way, even on more like textured skin. Next we have Huda Beauty. Now Huda Beauty actually has like a couple different sub-brands, and I'm actually choosing a product from one of her sub-brands, which is Glowish. And this is the Cheeky vegan blush powder. These blushes have become some of my favorite everyday blushes to wear. I just find them to be so easy to throw on. Don't let the name of the brand fool you. These are not glowy blushes. They are actually totally matte, but they are not chalky in the slightest. They're very, very smooth, and they apply just like so smoothly and beautifully on the cheeks in a very, very soft way. It's like the perfect, not too pigmented, but pigmented enough blush. And I think the reason why I love these so much for every day is for that exact reason. Like, they're just easy to apply without having to worry that you're going to over apply them, but you're still able to get like a really nice, intense blush look with them with like really, really beautiful color. And this shade, which is called Caring Coral, is definitely my favorite shade that they have. It is so beautiful. Next we have Ilia, and my favorite product from Ilia currently is definitely the liquid powder chromatic eye tints. Liquid eyeshadows can be a little bit intimidating, but these are super, super easy to wear, and especially if you're somebody who likes a good like one and done eyeshadow look, if you don't want to spend too much time on your makeup, liquid eyeshadows are going to be your best friend, because you basically just swipe it on and then you blend it out with a finger or with a brush and you're good to go, and you have an eye look that is going to last you the entire day. I have a bunch of these in a lot of different shades, and I just love throwing them on for day to day. And because they are so easy to wear, I even sometimes go for like the bolder colors. Like, they have this really beautiful like lilac shade that I would typically never really go for, especially for like a day-to-day makeup look. But because this is kind of more of like an approachable product, for lack of a better word, I find it almost encourages me to just use the colors that I typically wouldn't go for, because it is such an easy product to use. This particular shade called Fresco is probably one of my favorite everyday shades though. It's like the perfect cool toned taupey shade and has a little bit of a metallic sheen, but it's not too intense, and it's just perfect. So for example, I would like swipe this all over my lid, blend it out with a fluffy brush or with my finger, either works, and I have a perfect eye look. And it took me 2 seconds to do. Moving back into skincare, we have the Inkey List. My number one product from the Inkey List is by far the Fulvic Acid Brightening Cleanser. Typically, I only expect one thing out of my cleanser, and that's to make my face clean. But this cleanser does a lot more than just make your face clean. This has fulvic acid in it, which is going to actually help to reduce texture and brighten up the skin. So when I use this, I actually let it sit on my skin for maybe like 10-15 seconds, and when I rinse it off, my skin is literally noticeably smoother. It is so good, it's so effective, and it's very, very affordable because it's from the Inkey List. Moving into J, we have Josie Maran, and of course I had to talk about the Whipped Argan Oil Body Butter. There's barely anything left in here. This is one of my all-time favorite body butters. This body butter just feels so rich and luxurious and super creamy, especially because there's argan oil in here. It makes your skin feel so deeply hydrated, especially going into like the colder months. This is such a must-have. And the pure vanilla bean scent is heavenly. It's not like your typical vanilla scent that's like overly sweet. It smells very expensive, and it smells like true, actual, beautiful, gorgeous vanilla. It's so freaking good. I've gone through tubs of this. My boyfriend is also obsessed with this. So next we have JVN. This is a bit of a newer product in my life. I only more recently started using it, but already this has become such a staple in my hair care routine. It is the Complete Blowout Styling Milk. This is a product that I would put into my hair when it's damp, and I use it before blowing it out. It specifically makes my hair just look smoother and shinier, and it just makes my hair look significantly better as opposed to when I do not use this. Now, I do feel like these two guys are kind of interchangeable and do very similar things. The Bumble Bumble primer and this guy. So if I use this, I won't use this, and if I use this, I won't use this. Next we have Kaja. I feel like I'm talking about a lot of glosses in today's video, so here's another one. This is the Kaja Gloss Shot, and this is definitely my favorite product from the brand. I was kind of going between this and the little eyeshadow trios, but I do have issues with those eyeshadow trios that kind of make them not my absolute favorite. I get a lot of fallout with them. These glosses though do me no wrong. The texture of this actually reminds me a lot of the Fenty Gloss Bomb. It's very smooth, it's not sticky, and it's super, super glossy and really has the perfect amount of pigment. This one is called a Pink Drink, and I also really love the shade Honey Drizzle. That one's absolutely stunning. I mean, how can you not get excited about a gloss that makes your lips look that glossy? Kerastase. Kerastase is another hair care brand that I use a ton. A lot of the products that I use like day to day in my hair are Kerastase products. So this was kind of difficult for me to choose, but because I very recently just fell very deeply in love with this dry shampoo. I had to mention it as my favorite product from the brand at the moment. Now, I recently dyed my hair this auburn color, and I have been told that I should not wash my hair too frequently because then it kind of messes with the vibrancy of the color. And so dry shampoo has really become my new best friend. This is truly one of the best dry shampoo products I've ever tried. It literally takes my greasy hair and makes it look brand new and so fresh. My last wash lasted me 7 days. And I probably could have gone longer because of this product. Like, it literally made my hair look so fresh. It soaked up all of the oil. And what I really like about this dry shampoo is that it does not make my hair feel too gross. A lot of dry shampoos make my hair feel really heavy and just like I want to wash it. And this doesn't do that, which I really appreciate. It also doesn't have a white cast. I've tried a lot of dry shampoos, and this is by far one of the best ones that I have tried. Next, we have Kopari, and this is another body butter that I'm absolutely in love with. I feel like this is very much on the same plane as the Josie Maran body butter. This is called the Ultra Restore Body Butter with hyaluronic acid. The texture of this is truly heavenly. It is a whipped texture. Like, there are literal air bubbles in here because it is whipped. And putting this on is so satisfying and it feels so good. The smell is also really nice and beautiful and very, very soft. If you don't like intense scents in your body cream, but you don't want it to be completely unscented, this is actually perfect because it kind of just smells like very, very light coconut. There's also hyaluronic acid in here, and I love that. It just adds that extra boost of hydration that I really need for my body skin. Another A++ product. Kosas. Do I even need to tell you what this product is gonna be? Cloud Set. Yes. Kosas Cloud Set. I would like to say that I loved the Kosas Cloud Set before Hailey Bieber did. Kosas Cloud Set is without a doubt my favorite product from Kosas, and also without a doubt probably my favorite setting powder. I use this every single day on my face. It is a beautiful setting powder that basically completely like blurs and sets your face, but with like the finest powder, so it does not even look like you applied anything. I literally have like 20 of these powders just everywhere because I just cannot go without it. Next we have Laneige, and Laneige has a lot of really awesome products, but I would say that my #1 favorite has got to be the Lip Sleeping Mask. It's a potted lip balm, so it's quite thick, and because it's such a thick lip balm, it feels very luxurious when you put it on your lips. It's definitely very hydrating, and it just gives that really nice thick protective layer to the lips. So I love this, especially in the winter time. And it comes in a bunch of different flavors and scents, so you could really have one for every mood. Lancome. I think this is actually the first mascara that I'm mentioning today. The Lancome Lashy Doll is by far one of my favorite mascaras, period. This mascara really does it all for me. It lifts, it lengthens, it gives me a ton of volume, and it also lasts really well without smudging or giving me raccoon eyes. It has more of a plasticky wand, and it has a slight bend to it, which really helps in lifting and curling the lashes. And I find that this particular wand just really gets the job done in every which way. You're able to get a lot of separation, you're able to build a lot of volume and get that length with this wand, and the formula is just awesome. It lasts really, really well. Laura Mercier, again, Laura Mercier is another brand that has so many great products, but I think the product that really stands out the most to me is their Caviar Sticks. Their Caviar Sticks are basically cream eyeshadows, and I use them for a couple different things just depending on the shade. Sometimes I'll use them on their own and I'll just swipe it all over my lid and blend it in with my finger, or I'll layer it underneath powder eyeshadow if I want to use it as a base. The shade Caviar, which is a matte brown, is one of my favorites, and I actually like to use this as eyeliner most often. So what I'll do is I'll take a small little brush and I'll actually just pick up the product directly from the stick and use that to apply. And I find that it's just so easy to apply, especially when I want a softer look than like a typical liquid eyeliner. And I also love using this even as like a base for my smoky eye. I just feel like the Caviar Sticks are so versatile. Plus they set down and they do not move. So they are very, very long lasting. Makeup Forever, without a doubt, has my favorite lip liner, which is the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil. Now, as like an actual pencil, they are quite basic and simple. Don't get me wrong, they do apply really nicely. They apply very smoothly. There's a lot of nice pigment to them. Like, there's nothing wrong with the actual formula. Just not a top tier pencil formula, but even still, they're my favorite, and I use them more than any of my other lip liners because of the colors. Anywhere Caffeine, Endless Cacao, Wherever Walnut, what's the one that I also really like right now? Something Rest. They really just have some of the best, more neutral lip liner shades out there. Makeup by Mario. Didn't even have to think twice about this one. The Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. This is an all-over warming complexion tint in the shade Light Medium. Is by far my favorite product from Makeup by Mario. This has been probably my most used bronzer over the last couple of months. It kind of acts like a cream bronzer, but this isn't really marketed as just a cream bronzer. It's actually marketed as a warming skin tint. So you can use this technically like all over the face if you wanted to just like add some warmth everywhere, because it has some nice translucency to it. So it's not going to look like bronzer if you put it everywhere. It's just going to, again, like warm up the complexion. But because of that translucency, I find it works perfectly and beautifully as just a dedicated concentrated cream bronzer product. It allows like your skin to show through, so it just looks so natural, but it still applies really smoothly. A lot of like sheer bronzing products will look sheer but will look really patchy. This does not have that problem, and that's why it's become such a huge staple for me. For all those reasons, I feel like I'm able to use this even on just bare skin and it doesn't look odd. We've got 2 more brands to go through. We have Merit and Milk. For Merit, oh, this is another lip product actually that I'm going to be talking about. Without a doubt, the Merit tinted lip oils are my absolute favorite product from Merit. These very quickly became one of my favorite lip products just in general. When I discovered them, I bought the entire line during one of the Sephora sales. It's not as glossy and intense as what I'm wearing right now, but sometimes you don't want something super glossy. Sometimes you want something that's still going to give you gloss, but that's a little bit more wearable. Because it's a lip oil, it feels really nice and hydrating, and it's not sticky or any of those things that you don't want in a gloss. It gives you some great sheen, but it also gives you like the perfect tint to the lip. So again, it's just a really easy product to throw on, an easy product to wear. The colors that they come in are really beautiful. This one is Marrakesh, which is one of my favorite, more everyday shades. There's actually one shade called Falcon, I think it's called, and it's more of like a cool tone taupey shade. I really like that one because it's so cool toned. You don't often see that in this type of formula, and it kind of gives you that like cool girl, like 90s feel. So I would definitely recommend checking out that if you want something a little bit different, but just generally speaking, these are stunning. We've made it to the very last brand. It is Milk Makeup, and my favorite product from Milk is definitely the Hydro Grip Primer. I am admittedly not a huge primer person. There are a couple primers that I really do like that I feel like actually make a difference in my makeup. This is one of them. This I feel like is kind of a unicorn primer, because a lot of primers that are supposed to like make your makeup last are super drying. This is really interesting because this is a primer that's supposed to grip onto your foundation and make your makeup last longer, but it's also hydrating, hence the hydro in the name. If I have an event, I put this on because I know that it's going to make my makeup last 10 times longer. Guys, we made it to the end of part 1. Like I said at the beginning, let me know all of your thoughts on everything that we spoke about today, and if you want to share your favorites, I would love to hear them. Definitely stay tuned for part 2. Like I said, I will link it down below if it's already up, but if it's not up yet, it'll be up in a couple days. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.